marched in with no warning. I couldn't think. I just ran.
Easy. You're here now. Where did they come from?
Envoy! What does the Garrote think they're doing? What's the point of exploring if you just want to plant your flag everywhere? They broke some glass, but the map is safe. They didn't think I was worth the trouble.
Right now, that's a good thing.
If you're looking for survivors, a few of us fled to the Balrog.
How many?
I'm not sure. I saw Sapiento. Gods, I hope they're not trapped in there. I am sorry I can't be more help. I won't give them the satisfaction of killing me.
We should move. Let's hope the Garrote hasn't made it to the Balrog yet.
Envoy, wait! Before you go, I may have something for you. I took some supplies when I ran. If you think they'll help, they're yours. I'll even give you a discount. You know, for saving the city and everything.
Why is there snow here?
That's gotta be Ringgrim's work. I heard she made it snow in Shatterscarp.
But why snow? Should I even try to speak with her? Oh, I want to talk to her, but I don't know. Do you think she's taking apprentices? Oh my god, I've never been this close to an archmage. She looks so powerful. Oh, an archmage. Are we already dead? Should I even try to speak with her?
Can't believe this is happening. We're all doomed. I need to get my affairs in order. The Archmage's presence is an omen. This is the end. We're all going to die. Archmage in Paradise? That can't be good. This is the end. We're all going to die.
A familiar face.
No pressure, Envoy. Just the fate of everyone, right in your hands. Wow. Feels like everyone's here now. Paradise has really gone downhill, hasn't it? Keep moving, Envoy. The sooner we get where we're going, the better. Wow. Feels like everyone's here now.
We meet again, Envoy. Paradise burns, thanks to Ludwine and the Steel Garrote laying siege to it. But the Dream Scourge is gone.
It wouldn't be the first time she's come back.
It's remarkable how hard you mortals fight for causes that'll be forgotten within centuries. Still, I do think the world has been irrevocably, if minimally, changed by your actions. Perhaps. A new god being set loose on the world is certain to have consequences. Mostly, I'm curious about whether you think you've made the right choice. Ah, that mortal zeal. Always so fun. We will see if you're correct. I am interested in seeing the outcome of your story, Envoy. With luck, it won't end with you also on fire. Unfortunately, you'll likely be dead the next time I return to the Living Lands. Goodbye, Envoy. And Yardsley, I do look forward to when all of this is done. I am eager to work with you.
Oh, yes. We'll, discuss that later.
My research awaits. My research awaits.
Things moved fast while we were in the garden. Feels like half the Living Lands is here. We're not too late to join the fighting. Let's keep moving and find the people in charge. Let's keep moving and find the people in charge.
What a mess. The fighting has to stop. We'll be lucky to make it out of here alive. The fighting has to stop.
Envoy!
Do we even know what we're doing here? If we make it out of this, I'm going on vacation. I hope you know what you're doing. Do we even know what we're doing here?
Oh, Envoy, how good to see you here as we stand together at the brink of this historic event. I don't know if thank you is precisely what I want to say, but I am grateful to you for bringing Dolna's theft to light. Paradise burns from the torches of the Steel Garrote. The people of the Living Lands stand ready to defend their home. Yes, what happens in Paradise now will decide the fate of the Parkrunen after all.
What's the plan if Paradise falls?
We will find a way to persevere. We Parkrunen have a gift for surviving inhospitable conditions, and always have. Whatever the outcome of the upcoming battle, do not forget us. I fear that more than our deaths. If Edir and the Steel Garrote have their way, they'll strip the history books of any mention of our culture and our ways. Future generations will only ever know us as an appendage of the Empire. I hope it doesn't come to that. It is all I can ask for. That's as much as I'll say. You have a role in deciding what happens next. Do the right thing, Envoy. Let history remember you for the correct reasons. You have the power to answer our prayers, Envoy. Use that power wisely. Remember us, Envoy. I believe in you. Remember us, Envoy.
Giatta, where have you been?
Where haven't I been? I journeyed to the heart of the living lands, where time held its breath, and dreams had more substance than reality.
May I see it?
Not if you value your life.
Envoy, I knew you'd show up eventually.
It's good to see a familiar face. How are you?
My revenants were just getting comfortable in Thirdborn when the Steel Garrote stepped out of line. When I heard tensions were brewing, I thought to myself, this is a job for the undead. So I gathered the flock. Not to worry, I can always bring them back to fight another day. I'll keep them on a tight leash, just in case the Steel Garrote breach our defenses. Better to have them and not need them. Oh, and I've been meaning to thank you. Whatever you did in the garden seems to have worked. My revenants are docile again. No more rude displays of aggression. I couldn't be more proud. Indeed, the metaphysical currents of the living lands are beginning to settle. Best of luck out there. And don't worry about a thing. My flock will keep us safe and secure.
Thank you, Elia. My compliments to the flock, as always.
I wasn't worried until she said that. Let's get out of here.
You can pet my revenants. Just be gentle. Once the battle is over, I call dibs on the corpses. People are giving me the strangest looks. As if they've never seen a dead body brought back to life before. You can pet my revenants. Just be gentle.
We know you. Did you help us? We must have seen you in a dream. Fidelio sang for us. We must help him. We see clearly now. The clouds part and the sun shines. Was this you? Adelaro. Does he fight for us? Why do we think of this name? We smell steel. Should we run? Or could we stay here and tend? Fidelio sang for us. We must help him.
Do you think she'll ever... Never mind. She's stable. That's what counts. I'm not going to let those Garrote bastards burn this city too. Do you think she'll ever... Never mind. She's stable. That's what counts.
How's Casagrada?
As prepared as he'll ever be.
Who knows? Maybe all this will make a hero out of him.
We don't need more heroes. We need everyone to come back alive.
I'll give you that. Just be ready. Nobody's taking Paradis today. Not on my watch. If anyone knows how to deal with those damned roots, it's us. It's about time Fior stepped up to defend the rest of the living lands. The Steel Garrote have hit hard and fast. We'll have to rely on subterfuge. Nobody's taking Paradis today. Not on my watch.
The Steel Garrote would see all of us burn. Remember that when you're picking sides. I'll stay back here. The others can provide close-range support. So, the roots are here too. Fine by me. They'll make a good vantage point. They won't reach us. I'll shoot as soon as I see the whites of their eyes. So, the roots are here too. Fine by me. They'll make a good vantage point.
I'm not running. Not this time. I can't let the others down. Gods, that's a lot of bodies. If I go first and distract them... Oh, this is a bad idea. I can do this. I have to do this. Gods, that's a lot of bodies.
If you're wounded, find a place to lie down. Someone will get to you before you bleed out. If I seem distracted, I apologize. I'm tending to the fallen, as you can see. Our fighters can manage a bit longer. These Adherents are a bunch of well-equipped cowards. No offense. Unfortunately, my hands are full with the dying and the dead, and there's too many of both. If I don't get any sleep, I might be the next casualty. I suppose I've earned a couple of winks. You look like you could use a few. The next time we see each other, I just hope the fighting's done.
Relaxation helps to clear the mind. Nothing else comes close.
I've lost count of the dead. Excuse me, Envoy. I have a lot of work ahead of me. They're saying the Inquisitor's out there, hunting for you. I've lost count of the dead.
Envoy, is that you? Envoy, how did you... I don't know.
It's great to see you again, but where the fuck did you come from?
You just appeared out of nowhere.
Close enough.
Once word about Paradis reached us, we were allowed to go.
That's not important right now, Radut.
Right. Forgive me, Envoy. I won't keep you long. I just want to make one request while you're here. As much as you can, be good to the living lands. Yes, but more than that,
What Radut is saying, Envoy, is that we know the Adherents can put us through worse, and we don't want it to get bloody.
I'd just like for us to live lives that are free, for us, not Adir to determine our fates. It's going to be up to you, Envoy. I know you have much to do, so I'll just leave you with that. Thank you. Still hard to believe we made it out of the Tusks.
No, it's not. Just look around. We're here. We're out.
We're counting on you. We're counting on you.
Don't fuck it up for us. Don't fuck it up for us.
Good. All together now. Do not allow your differences to blind you to the real threat. We cannot afford to hesitate. When we strike as Pargrunen, we trust your comrades, and you will lead each other to victory. Show the Steel Garrote who built the Living Lands. Strike like you mean it. The time for standing by is over. When we strike as Pardrunen, we strike as one. The time for standing by is over.
As soon as my gun's cleaned, I'll get out there. Can't risk a jam on the battlefield. The Living Lands needs me. That's what Temerty said. I thought I'd feel different. Koa's still dead, and it's still just me. I've just gotta prove to Temerty that I'm more than a smuggler. More than a killer. Envoy? Off you go, Envoy. There's a day to save. Envoy?
I don't want to go to Yezwa. I think they're waiting on you, Envoy. Envoy? Envoy?
There's my favorite Adiran. Tired already, Envoy? Well, I'll see you in the morning.
There you are, Envoy. You ready for this? You're probably right. I guess it helps we have a god on our side, right? I mean, a god beats a skeleton knight any day. This is just cleanup. Just figuring out who controls the Living Lands from here out. You have a lot to do. I just need to survive and make sure you live through this. Anyway, you should get some rest. Oh, if you need to rehearse any speeches or whatever, make sure you do it in front of someone else. It's not that I don't want to. It's that I'd just rather not. Talk to you later, Envoy.
So, here we are. The first and last battle for the Living Lands. If the Garden didn't kill us, I don't think anything can. Metaphysically, the battle is already over. Sapadal is free, and the Dream Scourge is gone. But politically, we have a small mess to tidy up. I intend to send a message to the Steel Garrote, and it won't be subtle. Anyway, who knows what tomorrow will bring, so let's be grateful for today. You've earned a little peace of mind. I think that's enough wool gathering for now. Besides, I need to tinker on the phantasmal focus. Make sure it's ready for war. Don't stay up too late. You know me, always ready with an answer. What are you so curious about? Thanks for talking. We should take a moment to acknowledge what happened back there. You liberated the god of the Living Lands. Now they are unchained, free to do whatever they want. That's quite a gamble you made. I admire your confidence. If not for you, Sapadal would still be pacing their cage like a wild animal. Which means you have leverage over a god. How do you plan on using it? You're probably better off then. Sapadal's imprisonment shaped this island. Now that everything's changed, I'm curious what will happen. We cannot know if the living lands will normalize or destabilize as a result of our actions. For better or worse, change is inevitable. Maybe you'll find some comfort in prayer, now that one of the gods is listening. I hope you don't mind me bringing it up. The subject matter is a bit much for our little camp. You're too kind. I want you to know this has been an unforgettable experience. Wherever we go from here, I'm grateful to have been a part of it. Until next time. You too.
We'll finish this together. Just say the word. Just say the word.
Is your outfit from Rawatai, or do you have a tailor in Thirdborn?
Anything I have from Rawatai has long since turned to rags. And Thirdborn doesn't have tailors, just sailmakers with time on their hands. Why?
I just wanted to thank whoever decided that you should wear that vest with no shirt underneath.
I just figured it was one less piece to wash.
Oh. I didn't realize I was speaking with the man himself. Thank you, Kyle.
My gift to the world.
Envoy, didn't think I'd be seeing you again. Gods only know what the Conclave will decide. I'm sweating like a pig in this armor. Envoy? How long's this lull going to last? Envoy?
I hope you know what you're doing. If we make it out of this, I'm going on vacation.
Paradise has really gone downhill, hasn't it? Keep moving, Envoy. The sooner we get where we're going, the better.
Envoy? Is it really you? Mihala told us you went into some place called the Garden to seek a god?
When you didn't return, we took you for dead.
What did you see there? The god you felt in Nokotorek?
It's too preposterous to believe. How could a plague be ended by speaking with a god?
Everyone, please, please. We could get to the bottom of this if you would only let them speak.
It's been weeks, Envoy. What happened?
Sapadal was responsible for the Dream Scourge. Their rage, their confusion, their fear.
So you say. But Shatterscarp is still littered with dream thralls, and Temerty is still pacing her room, muttering in the dark.
There won't be any new infections. We've put a stop to that for good. Unfortunately, there's little we can do for those already in the grip of the Dream Scourge. We can give them comfort, nothing more. This will be a process. The Dream Scourge was never going to simply go away overnight.
I suppose it stands to reason. I found that a quick fix is often anything but. What of this god, then? What does it mean that you freed them? Ludwig had intimated that this land grew a new god. But how can that be?
Giata and I have some theories about the nature of the Adra in the living lands.
I'd say we're past the point of theorizing.
If the Adra here is a closed system, like a terrarium for our souls, then a gradual accumulation of essence could coalesce into a being in the beyond.
Much like the formation of gemstones. All it takes is time and the right application of pressure.
Wodka no doubt saw Sapadal as a threat to her authority. So, she killed the godless and imprisoned their god.
I assume it is this god we have to thank for the roots tearing apart Paradise? They erupted from the earth the moment those bastards stood up their first siege tower.
Naku Tedek was riven with those things, not to mention what they did to the land.
Similar roots had infected the structures at Naku Kubel. If they and the Dream Scourge were really the work of a god, and the gods thought it best to imprison this god, how could you let such a creature go free?
For now. Who's to say they don't get their feathers in a ruff again and wipe us all out with a tsunami?
It was Adir's arrival that disturbed Sapadal. We'll have nothing to fear from this god once we expel you from our lands.
Having Sapadal at our beck and call might be to our advantage. I'd like to see Rawatai try to stand toe-to-toe against a god.
Keeping watch over Sapadal was a sacred task Nanru gave us when he left. For that reason alone, my wardens owe them their allegiance.
Well, whatever happens, I suppose we can't put the godling back in the bottle now. But come, we have more pressing matters to attend to. The Steel Garrote have attacked Paradise. Inquisitor Ludwig has already joined the battle. She must have traveled like the wind to get here so fast.
You did. I kicked her corpse when you weren't looking. Just to be sure.
Well, she's seen better days, but you wouldn't know it judging by how she fights.
Ludwig's run through the militia like a whirlwind.
All right, let's keep the similes to ourselves.
Oh, cheer up. You wouldn't be the first to make that mistake. Might not be the last either, depending on how things go. So long as her passion for Wodika lives, so too will her spirit.
Then we destroy her faith, and the rest of her will follow. I have a theory about this. Let's talk at camp if you want to hear it. But I think we can kill her.
Oh, good. That will be easy.
It is not, I think, impossible. Well, you might not believe me, but I didn't want any of this to happen. It was Ludwig who called for the attack.
I didn't hear an answer, Ambassador.
She and her Steel Garrote laid siege to the city, shortly after you beat her to the garden.
We've had no news from inside for several days. From what we can observe, southern Paradise is in pieces, and the remaining militia batters at the gates to no avail.
Is there nothing our people can do?
Given the state of our supply routes after the Dream Scourge, and the Steel Garrote's destruction, we expect the people trapped inside will run short of fresh food and clean water in a matter of days.
Thirdborn still suffers from the Dream Scourge. Though you may have ended the plague, Envoy, many in Shatterscarp still are not themselves. I could bring no more than a handful when we heard.
Likewise, my wardens are still reeling from effects of the eruption. The keep was saved, but there is much to repair, particularly if we are to endure a siege. Most of my men remain at the keep, I can't risk them against the Steel Garrote for the sake of Paradis, not when we are so few.
Well, that's been a point of debate. We can't agree on how to stand against the Steel Garrote, nor who should lead the effort.
There are too few of us to risk an uncoordinated effort.
So you let the Paradis militia go it alone?
Even if our meager forces should make it inside,
the siege won't end until Ludwig does. And none of you know how to kill her.
Precisely. The lawful settlement of a new Adiran colony, supposedly. Or the establishment of a Woedican state. She could win with a godlike in her ranks. Your presence would serve as a powerful endorsement. Somewhere inside that hollow head of hers, I believe she always hoped she'd turn you to her side. Remember, she has an obligation to Woedica, a solemn oath. And neither the Steel Garrote nor the queen that was look kindly upon oathbreakers.
Because a victory here would discourage resistance elsewhere. The better question is, why didn't you stop her?
Excuse me? She's a 7-foot-tall skeleton powered by her devotion to the goddess of retribution. This isn't my fault.
Sure. Just blame the dead woman. Very mature.
Who else should I blame exactly? Our envoy, perhaps? For not stopping Ludwig and the Tusks?
You could start with blaming your own incompetence. Why are you treating him with kid gloves when Paradis cries out for help?
Enough. I've heard your concerns. We cannot change it now.
The Inquisitor was so convinced the Living Lands would unite against Adir that she's nearly made it true. One people, one law, one true God. That's Ludwig's vision for the Living Lands.
I can't wait to see how you weasel out of this one.
I know it will. We are leading by example, returning order and dignity to Paradis in the wake of the Clavager's death. We will do the same to the frontier, given the chance.
Where was order and dignity when you burned Fior Messivernal?
My administration had nothing to do with that, as I know you know. Adiran rule and rule by the Steel Garrote would be markedly different beasts.
Spoken like a fucking diplomat. Splitting hairs when it all comes from the same head.
Order and dignity. That's what you think we're missing? Bastards! All of you!
You will take it all, whether the chance is given to you or not.
What passes between Ludwig and her men, or between Ludwig and the Emperor, for that matter, is not my affair. But if I had to guess, this was the alternative.
Your empire is doing what it does best. Stamping out dissent until surrender is the only option.
Your republics are hardly any different. Their intentions in the Deadfire were certainly not pure.
As you say, we left the republics for a reason.
Ludwig agrees. Our success would model the order and dignity of the Steel Garrote, for whatever that's worth.
You think I'll ignore what I've seen with my own eyes? The Empire has brought us nothing but chaos and suffering.
Careful, Envoy. Adir may still have a part to play, but don't let loyalty blind you.
The Inquisitor answers only to Woedica. In attacking Paradis, she has dragged us all far beyond the bounds of the Emperor's desires. I've answered your questions. Now I would like you, all of you, to answer mine. Ludwig has sent a message to the Emperor informing him of her attack. He will send advisors and reinforcements swiftly in response. What will his representatives find when they arrive? A new colony? A budding grave room? Before you face Ludwig, you should know what you're fighting for. All of you must decide, together. But whatever you decide, understand, the days of the frontier are done. Adir will come. Indeed, we are already here. The Living Lands would become an extension of the Adiran Empire in leadership and law. Soldiers bearing the flag of Adir would be garrisoned in every town. They would be paid in Adiran shelling and speak only the Adiran language. Their roads would be smooth Adiran roads. Their medicine would be hygienic Adiran medicine. And their weapons would be efficient Adiran weapons. Our customs would become their customs. Our strengths would become their strengths. Our emperor would become their emperor. Turned toward a common purpose. No one, not Rawatai, not the Valian republics, not even a rogue god, would dare attack the Living Lands. This island would be safe for the first time in its history, and safe it would remain.
The traditions of Solus are what give my wardens their strength. Without them, we would buckle under the weight of the tusks. I would sooner walk my people into the acid sea than trust an Adiran to hold me up.
The only threat I see on the horizon comes from Adir itself. You want me to thank this thief for protecting me from my purse? They can't offer us anything we don't already have.
Under Adiran rule, your countrymen would strip my people of everything that makes them unique, all in the name of spiritual hygiene. I cannot betray them like that.
He would suppress our culture before it's had a chance to grow. Everything my people cultivated would be reduced to a footnote. If you have any love for this land, do not allow him to overwrite our history.
Rawatai built its empire from colonies like this. Many have become centers of culture and prosperity, backed by the protection of a strong navy. Of course, it can take decades to get there. And this road isn't an easy one. But Adir won't be the only empire eyeing this place. A formal agreement now could protect us from something worse later.
It shall be peaceful in that all dissenters will be silenced. So there's that.
The Living Lands is a lot of things, but it will never be Adir, no matter how hard Adir wants it to be. Adir should turn back now and save everyone a bunch of blessed trouble.
The Adir's promise. Flip our feathers as we find our wings. The deed binds as the wire binds. To drown us, why were we set free?
Of course. The Living Lands would retain its own laws under a grave appointed by the Emperor. The grave would be expected to promote and develop the Living Lands to our mutual benefit. They would divide the island into administrative districts and see them governed by mayors appointed from the local communities. The island would provide tribute in the form of resources and taxes, and in times of war, soldiers. The Empire, I should note, is nearly always at war. In return, the Living Lands would enter Adir's sphere of influence, and should outside nations attempt to invade, we would come to the Grave Room's aid. Naturally, that would be the Emperor's decision. But I suspect he would choose you. Only the strong survive the frontier. I used to believe that was Ludwig. But you were born to rule here. Quite literally.
Well, give the matter some thought. You owe that much to yourself, at least.
We give up our fighters and the wealth of our lands, and get promises in return. But we have wealth enough to give some away, if it means my wardens may return to their vigil in peace.
A grave room wouldn't be my first choice, but we're going to need a hand with all the dream thralls left in Shatterscarp. So if the Emperor's willing to pitch in, then I guess so am I.
When the Empire demands its tribute, from where will it come? Emerald Stair is not the breadbasket it was, and the dream of yore is now deferred. If we accept this deal, I fear we are building a trap certain to catch our own legs.
Tribute, he says. Taxes. Soldiers. The Empire has tried it all before. Look to the Eastern Reach if you don't believe me. They want to bleed us dry, to fill their coffers and fight their wars, to break us like wild animals. But I will not bend.
It's still a gamble, but I think it's the safest bet. We'd get the benefits of Imperial trade and protection without losing all of what makes this place special. There's no way of knowing what it would mean in another generation or two. But right now, it gives us the security and stability to recover.
We were fine before Adir showed up, and we'll be fine when they're gone. Trust the lands and her people, Envoy.
If we give Adir power over us, we can't be surprised if they decide to flex it later.
Subtle, pernicious, touch the rot, yet the disease remains. Safety among spiders. A web gleaming with dew. They weave, they wait.
Of course. Oh, Envoy, no. Do not suggest that lightly. Think of the Emperor. There would be reprisals. Ones which this conclave could not survive, fractured as you are. Not unless you came together and formed a nation of your own. It would be difficult. No, impossible. I'm certain you would fail. Think of your people, all of you. Think of the lives at stake.
Though I'm hardly eager to work with any of you, I like the idea of twisting beneath Adir's boot heel even less. So long as the Wardens can continue our vigil, I'm open to uniting if you are.
Thirdborn alone couldn't stand against the storm, but the might of all of us, together, we could deter any but the most fearsome adversaries. And that's what cannons are for.
With the Envoy's support, we'd have a god in our pocket. What could the Empire do to stop us? Together, we could repair Fjord and create such miracles of animancy the living lands will become the envy of the world. It would be the honor of my life to stand with my people beside you all.
We deserve our autonomy, even if we must fight for it. Anything less would be surrender.
Fleeing someone else's laws and authority is one thing, setting up your own is another. We're an island of misfits and dissidents. We'll still have to surrender some of our autonomy, and we won't agree on what that means overnight. We'll be vulnerable. Without allies, other powers will see us as ripe for the picking. Know that this is a hard road to walk.
We were fine before Adir came. We'll be fine when they're gone.
I think we ran things perfectly fine before your kin got here.
Rest into bounty. Does the winter frost dissuade the seeds? Many fruits on our boughs. We graft many leaves into strength.
Well, let's not twiddle our thumbs while Paradis burns. A fine compromise.
So long as my wardens are left in peace, we will endure a grave room.
Thirdborn will support a grave room, unless the Empire inspires us to change our minds.
A grave room, then, if we must. And, God's willing, Fjord will feed the world.
I do not trust your Empire to show restraint in its control of the living lands. Gods help us.
We can worry about the future when it comes. This at least gives us the backing to survive and rebuild.
Right. Might as well go ahead and start designing those rebel flags sooner rather than later.
Good. We'll have perhaps a whole week of peace before the yoke starts chafing.
I will do my level best to convince the Emperor to accept a grave room. That leaves the matter of Ludwine and the Steel Garrote. She will never surrender, Envoy. You must kill her, or we will lose Paradis, and eventually the island.
Whatever happens to the living lands, at least I can kill Ludwine. I'll take that over nothing.
She better say her goodbyes while she can.
I'm proud to fight at your side, Envoy. One last time.
Let's get to work then. We've got a walking corpse to bury.
The Paradis militia will be at your back. Give her no quarter. The future waits for you.
Show them that the living lands will not be broken across Vodka's knee.
We will send reinforcements to help you reclaim the Eastern Gate. From there, work your way to the main plaza. Let's just say this is not my first brush with a tyrannical authority, though. I pray it is my last. May all the gods of Eora and the living lands protect you.
Let's take back the city. Whatever happens tomorrow, the Steel Garrote can only make it worse.
Time to stop the Steel Garrote. Lead the way, Envoy.
What do you want, Envoy? Hadir and the Steel Garrote will regret ever laying eyes on the living lands. Yes, for now. Adir cannot be allowed to win. If they gain a foothold, they'll devour the rest of the living lands. All of us must be free, or none of us are. Give the Steel Garrote the end they deserve. We expect Adir to accept the tenets of this agreement. I hope we won't regret this decision. I hope we won't regret this decision.
I'll be watching, Envoy. If you step out of line, I suppose it's something. I suppose it's something.
Envoy, I am sorry our paths had to cross in the midst of so much grief. Turning on your kinsman could not have been easy. But the Steel Garrote are overdue for a reckoning. Nor should you. From what I understand, you are a scion of the living lands, and have been all this time. While I have you, I wanted to check on Yatsli. Make certain she's warm and well fed. Naturally, I expect nothing less of her. Take care in battle, envoy. Your kinsman will not go easy on you. Hold nothing back. And farewell.
What? No words of encouragement for your favorite student?
Forgive me, Giada. My eyesight isn't what it used to be. I have nothing more to teach you. And yet, there is so much out there for you to learn. Once the dust settles, I trust you to live in whatever way suits you best.
Don't you dare make me cry. What kind of animancer cries on the eve of battle?
The best one I have ever known.
I won't keep us any longer. Let's go finish this. Be seeing you, old man.
I can see why his people trust him. He's a natural leader.
Take care of Yatsli. And of course, Giada. Be seeing you, envoy. I can only hope the battle is a short one. Be seeing you, envoy.
That's what taxes are for, I suppose. We should see about raising those. Your cut of dashing figures are grave, envoy. Especially once we get you a fine hat. It will cost the Empire a fortune to rebuild Paradise when this is through. History waits for you, envoy. Go meet it. It was my honor to serve as your ambassador. There is no easy path from here. For you, or any of us. Envoy. Envoy.
Envoy?
You should get some sleep. Big day coming up. I guess you do. I guess we all do. I've been in a lot of dangerous situations, but it's always been a fight to survive. it's just a fight. Putting my life on the line for someone else's cause. It's the opposite of survival. It's foolishness. You know, I've never seen a bear go to war. They fight for survival, not for causes. We're about to go out there and risk our lives for, what? A concept of how things ought to be? We might die, all to determine who sleeps in the nicest house in Paradise until the island decides it's time for a change. It's fine, really. But it's some blessed day Sokka when you think about it. Right. Careful you don't get stuck in all that sap. I'll be all right, envoy. You go get some blessed day rest.
Can't sleep? Neither can I. We're going into battle for the soul of the living lands, rallying under the banners of the Paradise Militia. Your Emperor will not be pleased. Political influence is dangerous. If you aren't careful, it can turn against you. When a godlike fights in battle, people take note of which side. The Adirans will doubt your loyalty. The locals will doubt your commitment. You may even doubt yourself. This is the first time you were told to pick a side. And I fear it won't be the last. This conflict has really pulled you apart. Worse, it's put your soul at risk. From what I understand, your ambassador is very persuasive, very powerful, and very accustomed to getting his way. For a politician like him, losing a battle is not a defeat. It's an opportunity. When he promises you the world, don't listen. He'll fill your head with lies if you let him. That is an advantage, and we're going to need it. I'm glad we understand each other. It's good to see you fighting for the misfits and rabble-rousers. Time for you to get some rest. We have a big day ahead of us. In truth, I'm not as worried as I used to be. I've been thinking about the Inquisitor. Formulating a theory, you might say. A Death Guard clings to their existence by force of will. Stubbornness, unfinished business, that sort of thing. Ludwig is held together by faith, and that may be her undoing. If only it were that simple. Faith is the foundation of her reality. Faith in the righteousness of the gods. But according to her faith, Sapadal should not exist. A new god independent of hers? Blasphemy. By that logic, you shouldn't exist either. And yet here you are. By staying alive, of course. You are the godlike of a heretical god. A contradiction to her reality. Can you imagine how much she needs you to die? Her entire worldview depends on it. Who knows? Maybe that uncertainty is enough to make her mortal again. Or maybe not. I'm just theorizing as I go. Whatever happens, I want to see it for myself. For the research. When I agreed to travel with you, I didn't think I'd find myself at the center of a political upheaval. And now the Living Lands is dependent on the Empire's generosity. Generosity which can be given and taken away. We're free to make our own laws until our Adiran masters revoke them. We're free to thrive until our taxes finance your next war, with our people padding the front lines. We're free until we're not. At the end of the day, I don't trust the Empire to show restraint with the Living Lands. They've done nothing to earn it. I know you do. Is it really that obvious? No matter who wins or loses, the Living Lands won't be the same. In my heart, I know that's a good thing. Life is impossible without change. And change can be frightening. I just want to put this behind us. I want it to be over. You want to talk? Let's talk. What's on your mind? Pleasant dreams.
So the Living Lands is finally joining the rest of the world. Part of me will miss the frontier days, but the comforts of civilization will be nice.
Don't get too comfortable in that soft bed, Amakor. There'll always be someone to pull you out of it.
I call it colonization by another name. Freedom within limits. A contradiction if I ever heard of one.
Now that Adir has been given an inch, they'll soon take a mile.
Or we'll just take it back, like the Deerwood and Raed Saris. Either way, we should focus on the battle ahead. Ludwig's the real enemy.
After everything we've been through, I won't let you down.
Well, here we are. We're doing this. We're fighting your people. Are you okay? No doubts or second thoughts? Really? Well, you're better than me, dearie. Thinking back on all we've done, it's impressive, don't you think? We went to the garden, a prison untouched by time. We both learned the truth about our Akedan origins. Oh dear. Do you think we knew each other in our past lives? I'm sure I just let you think that, Envoy. And that's skipping to the end. I mean, think of all we've done. You helped the Animancers get back on their feet after Fjord was raised. And though I may mourn the loss of Nakukubel, I can't deny that Thirdborn is safe now. Who would have thought I'd be here, fighting with an Adiran? Oh. I suppose I can work with that. Truly. Thank you. I'm forever changed for our time together. As weird as you are, Envoy, I'm glad we're here, now, ready to save the living lands. Well, let's go kill that dead woman. How can I help, darling? Don't mind if I do.
Envoy, what do you need? Not before I've done some reading.
Another win. Who's counting?
It's no use. We're overrun. Go on. I'll only slow you down.
Come on, man. The camp's just over there. Get up.
No. I've lost too much blood. It's all right. You're a better soldier than I ever was. It's all right.
Don't just stand there. Ugh, I've got this. Don't just stand there. Ugh, I've got this.
We shall tear your enemies apart. Let the worst come. I am ready. This shall be a bloody day. This shall be a bloody day.
Finish this.
For you! The left!
Good shooting, Kai.
Some rock!
Watch your right!
It won't hold up.
I'll hang back and watch the gate. Nice job, everyone.
The envoy? Of course you'd be the last face I see. I guess I shouldn't be surprised to see you here. I have. As an endearing soldier, it's only fitting I die here at the dawn of our war against the living lands. But never mind that. That isn't what's important right now. You've declared yourself for the enemy. You've turned your back on Adir, on the Emperor. Again. I don't understand. Why, envoy? What right do the others have to be here? Because they landed some number of years before us? Does that mean they deserve it? You won't stop us. Even if I'm food for worms. One way or another, these lands belong to Adir. I have nothing to say to you. You sicken me. Traitor, you sicken me.
First Eagle's Reach, now here. We were never going to go quietly, were we? At least we're taking some of the garrote with us. Go on. Finish what we started. First Eagle's Reach, now here.
You better not make us regret this. You're pretty impressive, Adiran. Kato is hard to convince. You better not make us regret this.
Do we even know what we're doing here? I hope you know what you're doing. If we make it out of this.
Welcome to the place of battle, Envoy. It pleases me to greet you in full health. I thank you again for the medicine. Thank you. It is good to be myself again. I traveled here for you, Envoy. When I learned of the events in Paradise from the dwarves as they marched out of the tusks, I knew where I'd find you. I hear that you have chosen to defend the living lands. I will honor my life debt to you by keeping the peace here, after the battle. The kith of the living lands, they mean nothing to me. But that is unimportant. Let us waste no more breath. Breath is too precious, as both you and I know. I will leave you to the war now. You have my vow, Envoy, and my thanks once more. Let the worst come. I am ready. Let the worst come. I am ready.
Show me what you got! This. Kai, weapons ready. What are you doing here?
I thought you left town weeks ago. About time. You're the only one Ludwig will listen to. Of course. We came here first. I had to pull Nasha away from pouring hot oil off the roof. Listen, one of the Garot's units is scouting up ahead, maybe 5 strong. I wouldn't want to fight them if I were you. Take this key. It'll unlock the gate to the canals. You can thank the captain who forgot it. Why should I? It's always worked before. I wish someone had stood up to the Steel Garot a long time ago. But, well, you're here now. That's what matters. Good luck. Take care of yourself out there. Armies and their toys. I won't let any of my workers get hurt. I didn't think the world had any heroes left. Armies and their toys.
Envoy! I doubted I'd ever see you again. I imagine I could guess what brings you back to Paradis. I must thank you once again for bringing me the Luminous Adra so long ago. Oh, it was wonderful! It was a complete failure, of course. But from that failure, I learned much. With some creative exploration, I was able to refine the Adra into a poultice that heals wounds at a fantastic rate. Asking for handouts, are we? To be honest, I doubt my humble ointment could compare to anything you carry in your pack. And I doubt it could so much as dull the pain of the wounds you've seen since we last spoke. I know you have much to do in town, so I'll let you go. Thank you again for everything. All my best to you, Envoy. All my best to you, Envoy.
We should go now. Well, the fighting's died down.
Can you not hear the screaming outside?
She's right. We can't go now. Then when? Should we wait till the Garot set this bar alight?
They have thaumaturges out there. You saw them.
And soon there'll be thaumaturges in here.
What if you stayed then? Just until we've cleared a path.
They will run you through before you get 10 steps out the door.
We should be helping Cad. We're soldiers, aren't we?
We are helping. We're helping her.
Envoy, what are the Steel Garot thinking? How could this possibly help us? There are people trapped under the rubble. I should be out there digging. I want to go home. Everyone's scared, Envoy. When will this end? I thought it couldn't get any worse than the Dream Scourge, or that aura. Gods. Good luck out there, Envoy. I'm sorry I'm not with you.
Envoy? Envoy?
We may not make it out of here alive. Why did I leave Valia? Why?
Please, leave me be.
Gods, I never thought it would come to this. The boys are trying their best to be valiant, but...
Please, leave me be.
Envoy, am I ever glad to see you? The Steel Garot's gone fucking mad.
No one in Paradis is ever gonna trust us after this. Gods, at least Offrig and Benedetta are here. I'm looking after them as best I can. I hope the Garot don't find us. We wouldn't stand a chance. Take care out there, Envoy. Take care out there, Envoy.
I was just getting warmed up.
I heard something.
This one's coming from the rear.
Envoy over here. What exactly do you think you're doing?
Liviana, don't you ever take a break?
You nearly died in my clinic. Correction, you did die. And now look at you, fighting the Steel Garrote. What have you got to say for yourself? Well, at least you're alive. Try and keep it that way. Kai, is this your doing?
Come on. I couldn't have kept him out of the action if I wanted to.
I knew you were a bad influence. We're patching up folks as best we can, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. War is a damn bloody mess. You're damn lucky to be one of those few. At least for now. I can't say I approve of you leaping into the fray, but it's always nice catching up with a former patient. How about you, Giada? Holding up all right?
Well, we have to do battle with the Death Guard, so I have that to look forward to. Do you need anything? Money, supplies?
Once this is over, I could always use another pair of hands at the clinic. The invitation's still open.
Thank you, but I've decided to tough it out as an animancer. On my own terms. Can you manage without me?
Are you kidding? I'm happy for you. Besides, I've got Chico on bandage duty. I just wanted you to know there's a place here whenever you want it. Gods be with you, Envoy. For my sake, try not to die a second time.
Come on. You know this. You practiced with Uncle Capo 100 times. Tight, but not too tight. You don't want to cut off the blood flow.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Be seeing you, Envoy. Stay healthy. Be seeing you, Envoy.
Envoy, it's good to see you fighting on the right side of history. Out of curiosity, what turned you against the Steel Garrote? It takes courage to stand against those fanatics. You know the Steel Garrote a lot better than we do. Their coordination is damn impressive. Any advice? Not a bad idea. When the fighting starts, some soldiers forget how to think on their feet. Ready to make history whenever you are.
You're a natural commander.
This is our chance to take back the Living Lands. Envoy? Steel Garrote won't know what hit him. Envoy?
Don't worry about me. Actually, I'm not sure I've been through worse. Godlike! Paradis could use your help. I may not be a hero, but I can still save somebody's life. Viviana believes in me. I can't afford to let her down. Don't worry about me. Actually, I'm not sure I've been through worse.
I was worried for a second.
No pressure, Envoy. Just the fate of everyone right in your hands.
You know how Adir feels about defectors. Watch yourself out there. Paradisans know these streets. We're not giving them up without a fight. So, you came around to our side. Guess Kai is rubbing off on you. Ludwine's lost it. She's hunting everyone and everything. Even you. You know how Adir feels about defectors. Watch yourself out there. Paradisans know these streets. We're not giving them up without a fight.
Wodeca demands your submission. Stand against her and fall.
That's Ludwine ahead. Lead on. I'm with you to the end.
There you are. So, you survived the garden. Did you come all this way just to try your luck again? To kill me more efficiently than last time? You'll get your chance.
Then what are you waiting for?
Look around, Envoy. Heelguard should have listened. He tried to bring order through compromise. He failed. Order is meant to be imposed by a stern, guiding hand.
Her order wields sharp steel. She must set down her blade.
Heelguard is a fool if he thinks half measures will save the island. When this is over, I'll instruct him, personally. As for you, Sapadal's chains are broken, which means your soul is in their grasp. I don't know how deeply you've been compromised, Envoy. And if I don't know, then I cannot suffer you to live. Do not patronize me. I have every right to put down a threat to the Empire. Steel yourself, Envoy. Make this a fight to remember, even in death.
We would not welcome her death. There is still ample shade for her beneath our tree.
If my theory is correct, you're as mortal as we are.
Explain.
The righteousness of the old gods is no longer certain. And for one of your kind, uncertainty is a death sentence.
Interesting theory. But will you stake your life on it? Would you pit your logic against my faith?
My parents died in the name of research. If I must follow their example to the grave, so be it.
Then we'll see who triumphs, child. Farewell, Envoy.
There's no coming back this time. Prepare yourself for the next world.
Let's finish this. Together.
Once I'm done killing you, your god of play!
We are every seed in the soil. We will always grow.
What we prepared for. No quarter.
Queen among queens! Send me your aid!
Why the Inquisitor sounds first!
Person wrong!
Let's get him!
Wherever Ludwine is now, she must be seething.
Of course, we'd be happy to kill her again, if needed.
She's done for. But we're not. Whatever's next, we'll face it. Together.
Gods, you're all gonna make me sick. But carry on.
Unraveled at last. We no longer feel her wire against our flesh. We are free always. We are free forever.
Silence falls over Paradis, as though the city is holding its breath. Then you hear it, the ringing of a distant bell, the waving of banners, and cheers of victory. After a short and bloody conflict, the dust has finally begun to settle. You feel Sapadal close to your thoughts, stirring with interest. The god of the living lands is observing this moment, unfettered by confusion or fear. For the first time in centuries, they understand. The Paradis militia rallies to you, the outsider who defended them in their hour of need. Whatever happens next, you have won their confidence. You take a moment to reflect on the calm. Not so long ago, you arrived at these shores on a simple errand, which turned out to be anything but simple. The dream scourge is over, and the island has been cleansed of plague. A time of healing and mourning follows. People look to you for answers about the source of the affliction. You tell them the truth, how the plague came from a power beyond mortal understanding, and how it is finally at peace. With your guidance, the Living Lands becomes a vassal of the Adiran Empire. In exchange for their taxes and soldiers, the free settlements are protected from future attacks. The fight for survival is over. You showed the rebels of Paradis mercy, but they can never trust the Empire. Instead, they keep to the wilderness, always 2 steps ahead of Adir, only attacking when provoked. that is as close as they come to peace. The refugees of Emerald Stair resettle in Thirdborn, bringing their skills and research to aid the local community. What starts as an uneasy partnership blossoms into a bond of trust. Through shared adversity, they find common ground. The ashes of Fior Messiverno continue to smolder. Scavengers avoid the ruins, fearful of spirits unleashed by animancy gone awry. The once promising city is nothing but a cautionary tale. After so much chaos, the people of Shatterscarp find a moment to breathe. As a gesture of goodwill to its grave room, Adir sends a regiment to purge the remaining dream thralls still haunting the wilderness. But with the sound of Deering cannons in the air, many Thirdborners wonder what their lives will look like when there is no longer a common enemy. After the Living Lands is declared a vassal of Adir, Solace Keep reluctantly opens the doors of its fortress, though not before numerous missives are sent to Mihala demanding the grave room be honored. Her reluctance costs the dwarves. The Pargrunen are never favored in trade negotiations, and are the last to be supplied by Adiran caravans. But the Wardens have rounder bellies than anyone can remember. For the first time in many years, Kai feels an agreeable restlessness. Not to flee, not to drift, but to venture. He visits the distant shores Tama told him about, and savors the modern marvels, ancient wonders, and breathtaking expanses he beholds. His heart swells, not with grief, but with awe. There is so much to discover, and he will spend his years chasing all of the joy and beauty the world has to offer him. With many of his anxieties and lifelong fears addressed, Marius now feels very differently than he did when he first met the envoy. Still far more comfortable in the wilds than among people, he nonetheless finds that his worries about the unknown were merely self-protection against the traumas of his childhood. Armed with this knowledge, he finds himself more capable of living in civilization, and far less fearful of his home in Galawain's tusks. While he never regains his former place as a warden of Solace, he spends his time traveling between Solace and Thirdborn, acting as a stubborn ambassador between the two. Giada continues to improve as an animancer. She dedicates her work to the spiritual health of the living lands, nurturing instead of exploiting. Others follow her example, seeking her tutelage from lands far and wide. In the years to come, rumors spread of a secret society gathering in the wilderness, where animancers work in harmony with nature. The dream of Fior Messiverno lives on in her. In a past life, Yatsley was given a task: protect the history and knowledge of the godless. Now, many lifetimes later, she continues upholding that oath. She moves into the library in the garden, spending her days poring over the clay tablets there. But not even the letters from, and rare visit to, her lover help ease the loneliness that fills her days. Freed from torment for the first time in centuries, Sopadal turns their prodigious curiosity to the people that shaped them. They observe the ways their people live, and they think deeply about what they see. Though they flinch away from moments of violence, and they grieve souls returned to them too soon, the rage that once shook cities to rubble no longer rules them. Instead, they come to you with questions. They want to understand. After a time, they begin tentatively to garden. Where they can, they improve the lives of Kith, and the suffering that troubled them is reduced, if never fully eradicated. Their grief compels them to love, and they love unreservedly, with the power of a god. Sopadal pours a fragment of their power into the statue they claimed from the temple of Aethys. Newly embodied, they roam the living lands and learn to experience the world as Kith do. Their first attempts at locomotion are clumsy, and a stand of innocent trees is violently returned to the wheel. But as their confidence grows, so does their grace. Soon, they are bounding across the plains of eastern Dawnshore, leaping the river gorge in Emerald Stair, scaling the shark's teeth of Shatterscarp, and fearlessly wading into the Tusk's acid sea. When they break, they come to you to put them back together. And in time, they learn to fix themselves. They wander far afield. You see less of them. But they are never far from your thoughts. And on the rare occasion they return, they always bring you something beautiful and strange. The sounds of celebration pull you out of reverie. Many are waiting to greet you with open arms. You take a moment to catch your breath and savor it, because everything is about to change.